Hey guys, welcome back to Kai Dragon Gardening and Cooking channel. And guess what? We had one day of 100+ degree heat, probably about 108. These were at one time seed beds for our garden. As you can see, they have been melted in the sun right next to the garden. So usually with open air like this, stuff don't melt this easy unless it's scorching hot. So because of that, it confirmed another thing that I had last year, which I had a bad harvest. I lost a lot of my crops because I didn't have this shade cloth. So my backyard does not have shade, does not have extensive amounts of trees to block the western sun. The western sun is the hottest around 1 to 5 in the afternoon. So that means you're going to get the most rays, the most scorching heat possible, which will do major damage to your plants over time. A lot of plants just are not equipped to deal with that. No matter if you put straw like we have with the carrot bed here, no matter if we water as much as we can, the water just evaporate from the heat, and the straw will help retain some of it, but it won't do as good. This here is from Ag Fabric on Amazon, and I've used this for about 3 years, and we've built several of these now. This is 30 by 70% shade cloth, and I think I paid around 30 for each one of these, maybe 50. Don't remember, inflation. But the nice thing with it is this is a 6.5 by 20 feet. And we did have some extra here, so if we wanted to take a pole, we could extend it out just a little bit. But what it does is this blocks 30% of the sun's rays and heat. So if you're working under here in 100 degrees, it's going to be closer to 90, 85, 80, somewhere around there, depending on airflow. Like today, got a nice breeze coming in, so there's a little bit of air coming in. So it's going to be manageable to work under. But without it, most of these plants would be dead. Unfortunately, as much as the heat picks up, the heat wave hurts everything except for a few plants. Peppers don't seem to care one way or another. They're happy with whatever. And watermelon seems to be very happy. They don't care. Cantaloupe are kind of like that too, but they do need some cooling down time. Because if you're thinking about it, the sun comes up about 6 a.m., comes across here, it's already got 6 hours of sun the first part of the morning, then you got another 5 hours sun. That heat intensity just burns. And there's not enough resistance for some plants to do it. So how we did this was we used T-posts. They were kind of thick in the center, and you had to make sure you used 1.5 PVC. So if you're at Lowe's, take an inch and a half of PVC, stick it on the T-post, make sure it slides down, because that's going to give you your best grip, and it's not going to do too much movement in the wind. Then at the top, you're going to drill holes about 3/4 in diameter, and you're going to use 14 gauge wire, and you're going to reinforce this and tie it. And then you're going to use grommets. You can usually get these at the nursery. Some Ag Fabric does have some grommets that come with it, but we found that they're not strong enough, especially in high winds. And in my state, we have winds all the time. So what you're going to want to do is get some good grommets, and then you're going to run the lines in like a square or rectangle, depending on your shape. And then you're going to slide this shade cloth on, and it'll allow rain to come through, and there'll be enough play in the wind. As you can see, the wind blowing it, it's not really doing too much damage to it, if at all, because we've had shade cloth up throughout the winter, even as we just didn't take it down. The only time I'd see there'd be any problems with it is you get massive hail, but we've had pea-sized hail and it hasn't done any damage to this. So I recommend that stuff. Otherwise, this is what your garden's going to look like if you have in your area that has 100+ degrees. I mean, unfortunately, the sun's rays are just that brutal. I mean, think of it like this. A lot of us can't stay in the heat very long either when it's 100 degrees. These plants can't move, so we got to do the best we can to help them. So they focus more on food production and not survival. The heat will cause all plants to go into survival mode. They'll start conserving water, they're conserving energy, they're doing whatever they can to survive. If you don't do something, they won't produce. In this case, since we've had the shade cloth up, even in the high heat, we have continued to have tomatoes, we've continued to have strawberries, we've continued to have all the stuff that does not like heat growing, which has been fantastic. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. I'll answer them when I can. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll have more content coming soon. And thanks for watching. Peace.